guys love my shirt. It says, "Love you more than pizza." I went to this high school. I don't go to that high school anymore. I switched schools, but it was a private school and I hated it. The first year was just grade 7, so it was like 5 years ago, because I'm in grade 11 now. It was in grade 7 and we went to this camp. It was, I don't even remember the name, but it was basically like your typical sleepaway camp, except not typical at all. Instead of sleeping in like bunks and tents, we had to sleep in trains. When I say trains, they call them cabooses, which were like like the compartments of the train, and inside there was 8 bunk beds. There were 2 here, 2 there. And I was put into a bunk with people I didn't know except for one of my friends. Let's call her, I don't know, Kathy. Basically, me and Kathy, we were sort of the only ones who kind of knew each other. We've talked before. Basically, it was we were talking, and then we had this really bitchy girl in our caboose. And what she would do is she would sneak in everything that we weren't supposed to have. And she would sneak out, she'd go to the boys and everything, and I'm like, you're in grade 7, calm down. You'll have plenty of time to see the guys during the day. I don't know why you need to go and get in trouble, but whatever, that's besides the point. Let's start on how I got there. So basically we traveled by school bus. It wasn't that long of a drive. It was about, I don't know, an hour, maybe max an hour and a half. But I was sitting next to this girl, let's call her Bernie. Oh no, let's call her Bernie. She sat next to me and she was saying like, I hope you're in my cabin, blah blah blah. We're talking, we're having a nice time, and then all of a sudden she gets completely serious and she's like, I hope you don't sleep next to me. I'm like, oh, why? Like, did I do something? And she's like, I have terrible night trauma. I scream in the night and I punch who's ever next to me, and I'm just like, okay, that's normal. Some people have problems sleeping. I mean, I'm not gonna judge them on their problems. And then she says, yeah, I have like, sometimes I get up and I start beating them up, you know, the old 1 and 2. They're like, that's nice. This is gonna make me feel so much better sleeping next to you. Yeah. Basically, she was like, yeah, if you sleep next to me, I'm gonna scream in the middle of the night. I'm gonna rip up your hair. And I'm just there like, oh my god, I really hope I'm not in her cabin. Basically, the whole rest of the trip was filled with awkward silence because we weren't allowed to bring our devices. So instead of me sitting and listening to music, I had to listen to her ramble on about how she had night trauma and how she'd be willing to beat me up if I got too close. Her asking for my input and me just being that awkward grade 7er, about 13 years old, just nodding my head and quiet and smiling. It just looked a lot like this. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Aye aye, Captain. Pretty much when we got there, we laid all our bags on the floor, everybody was pumped, and then I saw the cabins, which, like I said before, were cabooses. Literally had to sleep in old trains, and it was very creepy because we walked into our cabooses and there were spider webs everywhere. The people who had us at the camp didn't even bother to clean up. So I'm freaked out of my mind because, you know, if there's spider webs, that means there's spiders roaming around. No, let's not clean up the cabin for people who are coming. Let's leave them the spiders, hoping they'll fend for themselves. Being petrified of everything insects and all that, I lost my mind. I couldn't do it. I freaked out. I'm like, nah. And then there was this other girl in my cabin. She was like, I don't know what happened to her, but when we had to clean it up, because we had to clean up our cabins, I handed her the broom. I'm like, okay, I'll clean the beds and everything. You just swipe the floor, sweep it, you know, me being the one wanting to actually do the work. She takes the broom and she's like, how do you work this thing? I'm like, you sweep it. Have you never swept before? And she's like, nah, I have a nanny to do that for me. I have a maid, you know, I have like 5. I'm like, so what? You're gonna sweep the goddamn floor and you're gonna do it? Give her shit, because just because she grows up in a wealthy family, I mean, I don't care. If you have to do your part, you do your part. I'm not going to treat anybody differently because of who they come from, where they come from, how much money they have. If we have to work as a team, I'm going to make sure that we work properly. Like, I'm getting really into this. So I'm like, yeah. Next off, we had to do this whole little prey and predator game. Prey and predator game was we had to hide in these acres of wood and hope nobody would come and find us or else we'd lose. We played that around 8 o'clock at night, you know, when it's like pitch black in Canada. And I was running, I'm like, yeah, I'm in this game, I'm gonna win. And then bam, jump into a ditch. Warned us that there were ditches there. They didn't tell us, be careful, don't run in the dark, there's freaking ditches. Me, being the happy-go-lucky 13-year-old, one of my only friend in this camp, we're going and we're running, we're like, yeah, yeah. And then I fell in that ditch. Not just a slight misstep, not just a, oh my god, look, it's a little hole this big. It was huge. I busted my ankle and I was like, oh my god, oh. I completely fell face first, and it just so happens, just my luck, a group of 10 of the people in my grade just walk past me when they see this happen. The one girl who I told you, who just doesn't follow by the rules and everything, takes out her camera and takes pictures of me. Like, you know, I can't wait to show this to everybody back at the cabin. Show them how much of a bitch you are, or like, I don't get it. Next, we had this sort of like delegation process about how the game went, and here I am, hopping on one foot to the cafeteria, and bam, another fucking ditch. And I fell again into a hole, and it was the same ankle, so much pain. And the same girl came and she took her camera, and she's like, what? I'm gonna show everybody. I was so done with this girl. I want to hear about what my other camping experience was the year later, except it was canoeing and camping on some deserted like fucking island. I don't know. Pretty much that's it, and that's all I wanted to tell you about my camping experience and how much I hate camping, and I won't be going camping anytime soon. I won't be sleeping in any caboose. Oh god, I'm so sorry. I rambled so much, but it was just something I had to express to you guys. And yeah, so that's basically my camping experience, and I hope you liked it. Give us a big thumbs up and subscribe and comment down below and do all that sort of thing.